Okay, so we are ready to begin file I/O or file input output, and this is an easy technique. It's very useful. It will allow us to save data outside of our program in a way that it persists in memory. So up until now, all the programs that we've written have been, one and done. You run them, you do the program, and then when it's over, and there's no evidence of ever having done anything with that program. So finally, we're at the point where we can save data, have our program save data to text files, and then later we'll look at a comma-separated values file, CSV file that would open up in Excel. That's a nice, useful way to save data. But for now, we'll just deal with the text files. So yeah, let's take a look at the technique. Like I said, it's very easy. Basically, it's a three-step process. You open the file for output. That's step one, open the file. Step two is write the data to the file, whatever you want to write to the file. And then three is close the file. Clean up after yourself. That's good programming practice and good housekeeping to close up the file. So we will start with this line of code. Basically, I'm creating a file object, and I can name it whatever I want, but I'm calling it file here. And I'm calling the open function. That's all you need to do. You don't have to import anything. Just call the open function. And then here you can give your output file a name. Again, it's whatever you want. I'm doing a text file that's going to open up in Notepad, so I put a TXT extension on that. But again, it's your call, whatever you want. And so I called that my first file. I'm opening it in write mode. Okay, so that's one of several, probably three modes you'll use all the time. Write, W for write. Later we're going to read from an existing file, so that would be R for read. And then also later in this video I'll show you the append mode, which is kind of like write but a little different. So right now we're just opening for write. So what happens is if this file does not exist, which it doesn't at the moment, Python will create that output file. Okay, if the file does exist, in write mode, Python is going to wipe out that file and recreate it and overwrite whatever contents were in there. So you have to be careful with that. As I said, later we'll look at the append mode, which would deal with that type of overwriting data as opposed to adding to data that's already there. So anyway, we have step two, which is just to write the content. So once I have my file object created, I just call the write method, and I'll just write a greeting to the file. And then step three is calling the close method on the file to close it up. So I'm going to run this, and I want you to especially watch this area here where this F9 is basically. So when I run this, a new text file is going to appear there. So I'm in Online GDB naturally, but, and you can do these techniques in Online GDB. I'm going to show you another environment also, just because I think you get the effect better in another environment, because Online GDB is cloud-based, it's web-based. We don't have control over where things are saved or, things like that. So you don't get the full effect here, but go ahead and watch. I'm going to run this. Okay, so you can see the file appeared. So we haven't really done multi-file programs or projects in this class yet, but you can have a multi-file project. And so now we have one. Our text file was added to the project in Online GDB, and there it is. Okay, you can delete it if you want, because you can rerun it. You can run it with the click of a mouse and get that file right back. There it is again. Okay. So, yeah, there's your text file. Now let me show you this in a different environment. Okay, so I'm in Spyder, which is just a different Python development environment, and I have my program saved in this folder, which is on my desktop. So I have this Python programs folder on my desktop, and then this is the Python script that we're looking at in Spyder. It's saved in that folder. So when I run the script in Spyder. Okay, so we don't see it. This is where the program output would be, like screen output, which we don't have in this program. It's just file output. I didn't put anything, any print statements to print something to the console. So anyway, when I pull up the folder, there it is. There's the text file. Okay, so this is called the working directory. The file or the folder where your program resides, the program, the PY file, the folder where that program resides is by default the working directory of the program. And that is where the files, the ancillary files like this one, this text file, are going to be saved by default. Likewise, when we read files back into the program, we have to make sure they're in the working directory. Because that is where your program by default wants to look for that file. So yeah, now in Online GDB, that's less of an issue because, again, we don't have control over where things are saved. You know, it's all just going to go in the same project folder, and we don't really have to worry about it in that regard. So I'm going to just do one more quick technique, actually two quick techniques here. In the same file, I'm going to append the word goodbye. So I don't want to overwrite what is there. I don't want to overwrite the hello there, but I want to add goodbye to that file. And I'm going to do it in such a way that this technique here. Okay, so we talked about the 1, 2, 3 approach. You open the file, you write the data, you close the file. Okay, this is even better. If you use this with construct, that is going to open the file. Same effect as the first line up here. Okay, I'm referencing the file. I'm opening it in append mode instead of write. And append will allow us to append data to that which is already in the file. Okay, as opposed to overwriting the data. Okay, so append is to add to data that already exists. And look, if the file didn't already exist, that's fine. Append would also create that file and write the new data. So, so there's that. But this construct here has the hidden benefit of it will close your file automatically when it's done writing. Okay, you don't even have to think about the close. So let's get in the habit of using this construct, which is ultimately better. Because you might forget to close the file. Now with this one, you don't have to worry about it. It's not going to forget to close the file. So here I'm just writing the data. Here I'm writing goodbye, obviously. So I'm going to run that. Now I'll look at the contents here. So notice the goodbye was appended to the hello there, okay, as we were expecting, because I opened it in append mode. Now, one quick thing. I wanted it to be like on the next line, like with a new line in there. So the new lines don't happen automatically. You have to be proactive about adding them if you want each new data item on a new line, okay? So what I would have to do is just maybe squeeze in here and throw in the new line escape sequence. Again, that goes inside of the quotes for the string. So let me run that. Okay, and there's my file.